Hello great people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're not new, welcome back. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to cut the skirt that you see right on the thumbnail. So without further ado, let's just go right into it. This is the tool I'll be using. Some people call it net, some people call it skin net, some people call it tool. Whatever it is that you call it, but I'm sure you identify this, right? And this is the Ankara fabric that I'll be using for the underneath. So this is about 7 years of fabric. I may not end up using everything, but let's just, the first thing to do is to fold your fabric into two. I'm going to cut the Ankara first before going ahead to cut my, so fold your fabric into two like so. I'm sewing for size 17. So the waist is 40 inches. I'm going to be adding allowance of 2 inches to my waist, to my hip, and to every other part of the skirt. So waist is 14 inches. 14 inches divided by 4, I have 10 inches, right? So 10 inches plus 2 inches making 12 inches. So this is what we have. Inches. Then I'll be coming down by 9 inches to measure where my hip will be. So the hip is 47 inches. 47 inches divided by 4 is what? That's about 11.5 inches. So plus 2 inches allowance making 13.5 inches. So I'm going to be using 14 inches because she wants it to be extra just in case it's tight. I'm sending it overseas. So this is it. So I'm making use of 14 inches. So I made use of 14 inches and connect it together just like so. After that, you go down to measure the length of the skirt. Well, the one on the thumbnail is actually very short, but I don't want this to be overly short. So I'll be using 21 inches actually. 21 inches. So right where I use 21 inches, I'll be minusing about 1 inch just to achieve like a very pencil skirt. So I use 14 inches here, don't forget that I'm using 13 inches right here. So I'm connecting it all together just like so. And then this to this just like so. So this is our front piece, and then I'll also go ahead to cut the back piece. So here is my front piece. I'll be using the same front piece to go ahead and cut the back piece. So this is what we have. Apart from the seam allowance by the side, I'm going to be leaving some inches here because of the zipper allowance. So let me trace the upper part and then we'll work with this zipper allowance. So I'm going to trace out the other part. I'm going to notch this edge. I feel like, let me not go and do a schedule, because I'm going to add like band to the upper part, maybe like 2 inches band, and then as much as I don't want it to be too short, it shouldn't be too long as well, so that she'll not be like, this is not what I want, I ordered for something short and all. So I'll be folding it in by like this. So this is what it's going to be like. I'm going to be folding it in, so the lining will actually add up to it at the upper part. Before then, I've notched the upper part of my zipper allowance. So I'm going to measure 1 inch like so, and then come to the middle 9 inches and measure 2 inches just like so, then connect it together, and then come down as well 16 inches and measure 1 inch again. You can see what I did right there. So I'm going to just draw like a straight line here. So this is majorly because of the back contour, and so I'm going to cut it out just like so. So this is what we have for the back part, and this is for the front part. I'm going to notch the edges together. So don't forget what I said earlier, that I'm going to fold this in and then I'll add my lining to the upper part just like so. So by the time I had my band, it's still good. So after that, the next thing to do is to cut out the two for the upper part, before the 2 layered that we have. This is about 2 yards, so I'm going to cut out the upper part of the 2 where there is no gathers. So this is 2 yards, just like a side line. I'm going to fold it like this, like as if I want to cut out a triangle. Flare. So you can see what we have. So I'm going to measure it to achieve, I need about 40 inches here, and then of the length downward. Then you measure like so. I think this was the point that I gave us 20. Yeah. So you come down. It's about 27. And measure 27 inches all around. 27. From the tip of your triangular form. Don't forget, from the tip. 27. And 27 again. So the downward part depends on the length that you want. I want about just 20 inches. So we'll be using 20 inches for the downward part. 20 inches. Although I may later end up reducing this. You can see how I'm measuring the 20 inches from where we stopped before. And you can also measure it at the edge. 20 inches, 20 inches. 20 inches, 20 inches, 20 inches. Yeah. So let's cut it out and see what we have. Oh yeah. I really hope this 20 inches is not short. Okay, so this is what we have. This is the net I cut out just now. You can see what it looks like. And then this is the Ankara. I'm still going to cut out of this Ankara because as much as I'm trying to make sure that it's not too short, it's still kind of well too long. You can see that it's almost of the same length with this. I actually cut out from it the other time, so I'm going to, I don't want it to be too short. That's what I'm being careful of. So I'm going to leave all these excesses, and this is what I'm going to be using to fold up for my lining part. So this is what I'm going to be doing at the part. So the next thing to do is I want to measure this over again to be sure it is up to what I need, because this is about 22 inches. Okay, I'll be cutting out from it actually because I need just 20. So I'm making it 21. And then I'll be cutting out from this chunk. It's like double of this. My hip is 47. Okay, still okay. Yeah, it's moderately okay. So the length of my skirt is 40 inches, and I already cut out 20 inches for the upper part, so definitely I have 20 inches left, which I'm going to be distributing among the gathers. So it's going to be 10 inches. So because of the band that's at the waist, so the allowance is going to be on the band side, so the band is going to add up to the allowance part. So now the next thing to do is just cut out my layered gathers. So I have 5 yards here. I actually cut out, don't waste 2 like I did do, because the upper part that I just cut now, I actually noticed that I wasted a lot of 2 there. So I need 10 inches, 10 inches for the length So the downward part is going to be actually more gathered. The gathered is going to be much more than the upper part of the gathers. So as to achieve the perfect line, I'm going to go ahead. I actually want to cut this into 4, so as to cut out my 10 inches, but I'm going to go ahead firstly and cut it out into 2, and then I'll now fold it as well and cut out another 10 inches. But before you do that, it's better you cut out about 12 or 11 inches, add an allowance to it, because I noticed that the gathers are going to be on top of each other, so the allowance is better to be added right on top of the of your 2 nets, right? So let's just do that. So this is what we have after I was done cutting it. I cut it into 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4 pieces. I just folded the 5 inches into 4 and I cut it out. I cut out about 13 inches because I really want it. That was the last conclusion I later made about it. So I really want it to be not to be too short. At least let it be something that will be okay. And then because of the gather, so I will go ahead and then run a straight stitch like so, and then after the straight stitch, after running a straight stitch, I'll gather it, make sure that there's gathers on it. So I have 3 inches, I have 4 pieces of this. Maybe I'll be using 1.5 for the upper part, and then for the downward part, which is the last step, it's 2 steps that we have, I'll be using the rest of the pieces. So don't forget that this is where I'm going to, after adding the gathers, I'll just add it to the tip of my net like so. So I'll place it on it and add it to the tip of my net. And don't forget that we also have the Ankara. I'm going to be adding lining to my Ankara and I will be joining together. So don't forget that there is no joining at this side, like on my net. The first net that will be at the first step where I'll be adding the gathers to. There's no joining. The only place that there will be joining is where the zip allowance is going to be. So this is of course is going to make your work really neat. So I'll not be cutting anything from here. I'll join my Ankara first, like you saw the normal skirt, and then I'll be placing it inside and sewing it around the Ankara before I will now add it all together at the zipper side. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to show you everything how it is being done. So let's go ahead to go and run a straight stitch and then gather it. And as well, go ahead to lining the Ankara fabric, join it together, measure the hip, the waist, join it together, and let's see what it looks like afterwards.
So this is what it looks like after I joined it. You can see the band. I added band to it. So I added the skirt just like you add your normal skirt before I now went ahead to join the two round it before I had to join the band. I'm just sorry I didn't show you the entire process. I couldn't record during this process. So this is exactly what it looks like. You can see that the two does not have any joining by the side. Make sure you don't have any joining by the side. All the joining for the two came right at the zipper part. So you will just join your skirt like you're joining your normal straight skirt before you add your two knit after your gathers on all. It is very easy, guys. Just take our time to look at this video, watch it over and over again to be able to get it. Thank you so much for taking our time to watch. Please subscribe. I love you. Bye.